Breaking news! The week has started off quite busy for the Miami Dolphins, who are at the center of a heated debate among fans and analysts, all sparked by the possibility of drafting Colorado quarterback Shadure Sanders. The question is simple: if Sanders falls in the draft to Miami's number 13 pick, should the Dolphins take him? On the surface, it seems like a crazy idea. After all, Miami already has Tua Tagovailoa. But when you dig deeper, the discussion gets much more interesting. I'll give you the latest updates on this, but first make sure you've hit the like button if you agree that the Miami Dolphins need changes, starting with the front office. If possible, comment below what the first change you would make to the Dolphins if you had the power right now. Many believe that Tua Tagovailoa should go. I'll leave that question to you today. Let's start with how this became a topic. It was Joe Shad who floated the idea, arguing that Miami should be prepared to consider Sanders if he becomes available at number 13. It immediately raised eyebrows. Sanders is widely expected to be a top 5 pick, perhaps even higher, given his skill set and the demand for quarterbacks. So realistically, Miami may never get that opportunity. But let's entertain the idea for a second. If the Dolphins were to draft Sanders, the pressure on Tua would skyrocket. We're talking about a quarterback heading into his 6th season, still without a playoff win, still struggling with durability concerns. Miami has given him elite weapons, a coach in Mcdaniel who has tailored an offense to his strengths, and yet there's still one lingering question. Is he the guy who can lead the Dolphins to the promised land? Drafting Sanders would put that uncertainty into overdrive. But let's talk about Sanders himself. He's coming off a season at Colorado where he proved his ability as a pocket passer. His accuracy is elite. When given time, he completed over 80% of his passes, and even under pressure, he remained poised. That's exactly the kind of quarterback Mcdaniel's system thrives with. Quick decisions, accurate throws, getting the ball to playmakers in space. That's what Sanders does well. He's not the most athletic QB in the draft, and his arm strength isn't elite, but he makes up for it with precision and football IQ. Now, let's get real about the potential problems. If Miami drafts Sanders, they're not just getting a quarterback, they're getting a media circus. His father, Deion Sanders, is one of the most influential figures in sports. The second he arrives in Miami, every single Tua mistake would be magnified under the national spotlight. It would create endless controversy in the locker room, with fans and media constantly debating who should be QB1. And that's not even mentioning the fact that Miami already has another high-profile backup in Zach Wilson. And that leads to the biggest argument against drafting Sanders. Miami has too many immediate needs. This team isn't in a rebuild, they're in a win-now window. Players like Tyreek Hill, Jalen Ramsey, and Terron Armstead aren't getting any younger. The Dolphins need to plug holes on the offensive line, strengthen the defensive front, and add depth in the secondary. Spending the number 13 pick on a quarterback who won't even start in 2024 doesn't fit that timeline. Chris Grier is going to draft a quarterback, there's no doubt about that, but it's more likely to happen in the later rounds. Miami could target someone like Dylan Gabriel, Kyle McCord, or Quinn Ewers as a developmental project. Spending a first-round pick on a quarterback only makes sense if you're ready to move on from your current starter. And right now, Miami isn't there with Tua, at least, not yet. That brings us back to Tua. This is the defining year of his career in Miami. His contract wasn't restructured before free agency, which is a clear sign that the front office isn't fully committed to him long-term. If they were, they would have freed up cap space and locked him in for the future. Instead, they're waiting. They need to see more. And that means he has to deliver in 2024. Playing all 17 games, making the playoffs, and, most importantly, winning a postseason game. If he can't do that, the Dolphins will have a massive decision to make next offseason. But what do you think? If Sanders is on the board at 13, do you take him? Or is it a waste of a pick when Miami has so many other needs? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear where Dolphins fans stand on this. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button for daily Dolphins content. We'll be covering every move, every rumor, and every game as Miami tries to make a run in 2024. And here's the real kicker. If Tua doesn't prove himself this season, then what? That's the underlying tension in all of this. The Dolphins have invested heavily in this roster, but they're still sitting on a 25-year playoff win drought. Fans are tired of waiting. The front office is tired of waiting. If Miami doesn't take a significant step forward in 2024, sweeping changes could be on the horizon. Mike McDaniel, his seat gets hot. Chris Grier, his job security vanishes. And Tua, he could be looking for a new team. That's why the idea of drafting Sanders, as wild as it sounds, isn't completely out of left field. The Dolphins might not be ready to move on from Tua yet, but they're also not ready to bet their future on him either. His contract situation proves that. If Miami truly believed he was their long-term guy, they would have locked him up already. Instead, they're waiting to see if he can put together a full season, stay healthy, and deliver in the postseason. If he does that, there's no question he gets an extension, and the Dolphins continue to build around him. But if he falls short, the door swings wide open for a new quarterback in 2025. And here's the thing. What if Sanders does fall on draft night? We've seen crazier things happen. Quarterbacks slip for all sorts of reasons. Maybe teams ahead of Miami get nervous about his arm strength. Maybe questions arise about how he'd fit into an NFL locker room. Maybe other prospects rise up the board, pushing him down. If that happens, and Miami is sitting there at 13 with Sanders still available, you better believe it's going to be a conversation in the Dolphins' war room. But even if they pass on Sanders, the question still remains, how long is Tua's leash? Because let's be honest, Miami doesn't just want to make the playoffs. They want to contend for a Super Bowl. That's why they've built this offense around speed. That's why they've added veteran pieces on defense. That's why they've structured contracts in a way that screams win now. And that's why the expectations are sky high for 2024. This is the year where excuses don't fly anymore. Injuries? Every team deals with them. Bad luck? Good teams overcome it. The Dolphins have gone all in to give Tua everything he needs to succeed. Now, it's up to him to deliver. Because if he doesn't, Miami will be in the quarterback market next offseason, whether it's for Sanders or someone else. So here's the final question for Dolphins fans. How much faith do you really have in Tua? Are you willing to bet the next 5 years on him? Or do you think Miami should start looking for his replacement sooner rather than later? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's get this conversation going. Because one way or another, 2024 is going to be a defining season for the Miami Dolphins, and we'll be here covering every moment of it. And that's exactly why this conversation isn't going away anytime soon. Tua's future in Miami is still uncertain, and the way the Dolphins handle this draft will tell us a lot about their confidence in him. If they go all in on offensive line help, defensive depth, and weapons to support him, that signals they believe he can take the next step. But if they take a quarterback, even in the mid to late rounds, that tells us something else. It means they're hedging their bets. It means they know there's a very real chance they'll be looking for a new QB sooner rather than later. Let's talk about the front office's mindset here. Chris Grier has been patient with Tua, but patience only lasts so long in the NFL. The league moves fast, and teams that hesitate get left behind. Look at what's happening in the AFC. The Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes locked in for the next decade. The Bengals have Joe Burrow. The Bills have Josh Allen. The Texans found their guy in C.J. Stroud. So here's where we stand. Tua has one last shot to prove he's the guy. The Dolphins are giving him this season, but the leash is short. If he stays healthy, wins games, and delivers in the playoffs, he locks up his future in Miami. If he doesn't, then this team is making a change. It might not be Sanders. It might not even be a draft pick. But one way or another, Miami will not go into 2025 with the same level of uncertainty at quarterback. So I'll ask you one final time, if you're Chris Grier, what do you do?